G'day, Josh from In Your Yard Homestead. Well, today I'm going to be talking about guerrilla gardening. So what is guerrilla gardening? Guerrilla gardening is a technique of gardening that you're growing out in the bush, out on verge sides, vacant blocks of land, public land, anything like that, that's not in a controlled sort of normal gardening environment. So where I am now, this is totally guerrilla gardening, what I'm doing here. This is how I've had to survive through and grow my own food, being out in the bush. So I'll take you for a tour around and show you and talk to you a bit more about how you can guerrilla garden. If you're in a situation like I am and you become homeless or and something, don't get discouraged that you can't grow your food. You can do it. If I can grow food here in the harsh, hot conditions of Australia, then you can grow food wherever as well. It just takes a bit of time, a bit of research. I've had to relearn and re-evaluate my growing techniques to get back into growing my vegetables again in a harsher climate. Like we had the same harsh climate where I was on the farm as well, but I had all irrigation, I had plenty of water. I've got a cart water to water my plants here during the drier times, and we don't get a lot of rainfall here as well, so we get maybe an average of 11 inches a year, which is roughly about 300 mil, I think it is. So it's not much at all. So techniques like deep mulching, which I'll show you. I've done a lot of deep mulching along the swales. I've put swales in as well. Swales is another way of catching when it does rain. It catches the water and slows the water down in the land and helps it to retain in the land longer. And promotes the roots of your plants to grow down deeper. These are all techniques that you might have to look into a bit more, and I hope I'll try and teach you as much as I know, but I'm still learning myself. So but get out there, check out other channels, check books are great too, like hard copies of books and stuff like that. I've picked up some nice permaculture books. And crikey, these flies are really starting with the warmer weather now. They start to come out a bit more. But yes, so there's all different ways you can still grow food. I've got some great food being grown here. The best thing that I've had here is purple cabbages so far. Have done really well. I've got some fruit trees that I've planted. It doesn't have to be just certain things that you can guerrilla garden. You can, some people guerrilla garden flowers and stuff like that, and some of those things are good too to help bring in beneficial insects to the and those plants, certain flowers. I've planted Mexican marigolds to help deter pests from my corn crop and beans and squash, pumpkins, and all these things are good. So I've left a lot of the native flowers and stuff around as well, because it's attracting the bees, and it looks nice. It's bringing in beneficial insects like ladybirds as well. So you want to try and blend the natural side of the land in with what you're trying. These flies, you want to try and bring the natural sort of landscape and your growing techniques to work together. Is the best way. I have had to do some serious modifications, with putting in swales, because here when I first came out, there was we had a good storm and really a lot of rain, above average rain in the storm, and I got flash flooded out pretty much. So the first thing I did before the next lot came is put in a bigger swale at the top to mainly divert the water, and then I'll put the smaller swales down the hill to catch the water and store the water longer in the soil, so less watering. I do catch rainwater here off the gazebo tent as well, for all my water needs as well. So things like that are good to look into. You can simply catch the water using the tarp and buckets and drums, however you can catch it. I've got IBCs that I've catched the water in here, but I'll take you for a tour around so you can see all that. So let's go and do that now. So I'll start with the rain catchment area. We haven't had a rain for a while. We've got some more coming this week, so I'm hoping to catch some more then. So I've simply got the rain tarp here, so it flows down into the IBC. Yeah, she's nearly empty, so I'm going to have to start carting water soon if we don't get rain soon, but that's okay. I use these drums and cart the water. I've got the fence that I've put up here as well for a bit of security and keep the roos out and keep mocker in eventually. I've still got a lot of work to do with this fence, and this is all from the dead timber that's been laying on the ground around. I've got passion fruit vines growing up here that will provide some privacy, some shade, and also a bit of cover as well. And just in here, I've planted some loofah gourd seeds in there. They take a long time to germinate, so they'll eventually grow up the fence as well. And down here, next to the creek, I've got rosella I've just planted in these little wells here. And this is one technique in this dry area, is to have the well so the water can catch and pool up in there and soak down. Up here is pigeon pea that I've just planted, so they haven't come up yet. My tomatoes are doing awesome. Well, they're going really well. I've got them along this swale along here. A few different heirloom varieties. Here, it's a bit dark here. So I've got garlic around everywhere. I've planted garlic everywhere. And this is a native plum tree. I can't get the tag out, it's stuck. So that's that one there. So that's something new that I'm trying. This will become a nice big shade tree. Shade is another important thing when you're out in an arid, dry area. So this will grow up. It's semi-deciduous as well, so when it's cooler, it loses its leaves a bit, but not completely. So this will grow up and provide a nice canopy over here for shade, for the leafy greens and things like that I want to grow. So you can see all this good straw. I've just used different straw, and see that's already starting to break down in the, and this has only been, I've been here several months. So this has only probably been here, not that long, a few months probably, and that's already starting to turn into good soil, and that's what you want. It does need another good layer of mulch on here, starting to get a bit thin. The weeds, if they're not in an area where it's going to draw water away, you can leave them, but if they are, pull them up or cut them off. I cut them off usually, and I just lay them back down for extra mulch. I've got a crookneck or straight neck squash. I can't remember what variety it was, but that's growing there. So these are the swales. So I've mounted it up. Underneath the sand there's logs and sticks and stuff. This still needs a lot of work. Really you should have no exposed soil. So I will be working hard to mulch all this as well. But over the other side of the swale here, you can see I've started to mulch. Oops, I've mulched a lot deeper here. You can see the soil level starts here, and then the mulch is a good hands thick deep. And when the plants, when the plants do grow up a bit more, I will add more a layer of manure, then another layer of mulch. So I've got chard, beetroot, pumpkins, spring onions or green onions, capsicums, lots of silver beet and lots of beetroot, or lots of chard, lots of beetroot. There's also up in the top of the swale here, it acts like a hugel bed because of all the logs and twigs and stuff underneath all the soil, and then the mulch on top. So I've got peas growing here. This one is Italian parsley. So there's plenty of things that you can grow here. This stuff I'm still in the process of mulching here. This is all thin, it's all broken down already. It's a bit dry too, but that's all right. So more plants in here. That beetroot's doing all right. The chickens did have a bit of a peck when they were out. That's onions, Hebrew brown onions, Thai basil. That's another capsicum, another pumpkin up there. More chard. I've got western red carrots. This is a lot that I've grown up on the farm, so these should do really well here and should eventually naturalise. I've got potatoes growing here. This is a purple potato. These ones, it's something new that I'm growing. They're doing quite well actually. I'll put another layer of mulch around them probably later today. Got bananas. I did have a few banana trees, but one died in the frost down lower. But these ones that are up on higher, they've been doing really well. Now the warmer weather, they're shooting out nice green leaves. Now you see the hose here. I am out in the middle of the bush, but I've added, there's another water. There's more water there. So that sun's catching on the crack on the lens. But I've got the IBC. I did tie a tarp up to that there and catch the water down in there, but during when it's not raining it flaps around too much, so I've taken it down, and when I know there's more rain I'll put it back up and fill it up that way again. But I'll just run that off a tap and gravity feed the water down to the garden. Now this area here I've just planted out. I've done corn, sunflower, beans and Queensland blue pumpkins, and also I've planted in on the corners, I've planted Mexican marigolds as well. This one is a lime tree, a kaffir lime, more garlic. I have just recently planted some comfrey seed down under here as well. And up on this top swale here I've planted sweet potato. So that's doing quite well now. I've got a fig tree there. See, all these trees will grow up and provide shade, food, shelter for wildlife like the birds that are going to help eat the insects. I've mulched. See, this is how the swale should be. Totally mulched, so there's no bare soil, holds the moisture a lot better. I've got cardboard down underneath inside here. And on the one down lower, I didn't put cardboard. I wish I had of. And I probably will later on when I redo it during the summertime, because it holds the water a lot better. So I've got some herbs growing as well up here. There's another beetroot there, more chard. This one here is wild celery. These are the purple cabbages. These are done well. So these three here will be left for seed for the following year. I still got a couple of little ones there that I'm picking off as well. So I've got more potatoes growing here. These are just a normal white variety potato. Up here there's herbs, the hyssop herbs, thyme up the top there, which I've got to do some mulching around there, lemongrass, Thai basil, gooseberry there, and a lot of garlic. All that's garlic over there. I've got some more stuff growing on the top here. There's another beetroot.
I have planted some okra down in here as well. But you see the chard's doing quite well. This one here, we'll add some mulch in here. So yeah, some spring onions in here. They're doing quite well. That's a little guava tree over there. And this little well here, that's a little guava. That's silver beet. They're all pumpkins on that end there. Aloe vera. This one's dragon fruit. Oh, down. That's all slow bolt coriander. So you can see I've got quite a large area that I'm using and doing quite well and growing. So I have lost a few things. I've got some mint down in here in this swale. This swale still needs a lot of work. This is the top one. This one here is a moringa tree cuttings. There's my chickens. So I've just converted this cave. So it's guerrilla farming as well. So I've got guerrilla style chicken raising. So I have a bay tree here, and I have strawberry spinach that I've just planted in there. I've got sea purslane up here. That'll make a nice cover eventually when it gets going along the swale. Some Thai basil, another banana tree. And this is all the weeds I've pulled out and cut off. So that will be all used for mulching on the swales as well. So you can see all this wild oats and weeds through here. This will all be like cut down and laid down. And where you see the bare dirt, that's where I've buried all the compost toilet stuff. So that's building up the soil again. Got another moringa tree cutting here. So they should start really taking off with this warmer weather now. Got my lemon tree. This lemon tree is great. I think it's a dwarf variety. I'm not sure. But this is one my grandparents had in a pot for years. And now it's doing well in the guerrilla garden here. So I'll get a lot of lemons off that again soon. Underneath I've planted some Kajari melons here. Some lettuce. There's lettuce growing. So you grow your stuff that's going to need shade, grow it under a tree. There's some more garlic around the other side here. I've got another fig tree here as well. And it's a different variety. So yeah. Down along here, I've got a few moringa trees and more garlic. And the moringa trees are starting to send out little buds, so that's great. With the warmer weather, they'll shoot up and grow nice and provide a bit of cover here for the morning sun on the gazebo tent. So that'll keep this a lot cooler. Another one there. This one is a curry leaf tree here on the corner. And more garlic, lots of garlic. All this dead branches and stuff like this here on the ground, that there is great mulch if you break it all up, or if, well, even better if you've got a mulcher, you can just run it through the mulcher, but I don't have that luxury out here. So I've been breaking it up by hand. Each day my goal is to fill one of these tubs up of mulch, just breaking it up, that I can use on the swales and garden area. Yeah, I just pick it up and just break it apart and just start breaking it into little bits. This is one of me times that I just sort of relax from the bit harder work, and it's just a good time to think, okay, what's the next stage that I can do in my gardening and stuff like that. break it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it keeps the moisture in the soil, keeps the soil cool during the hot weather, that's all I'm looking for. It doesn't have to look pretty and all neat. So you can see all this bare dirt here. I just get nice and thick over the top of the swale. And later on you could even put pea straw on top, anything on top. The more you can get on the top, the better. I know it's not a lot, but yeah, every little bit helps. So we'll just start putting on nice and thick the straw around the plants. Oops, I just covered up an onion. You don't want to do that. And try and keep it off the plants, but mulch nice and heavy everywhere else. And this will help retain the moisture in the garden. There's some of these lower leaves as well. The lower leaves that are not doing much good, and you can tear them up and just throw them back on. As long as they're not diseased, you can use that for mulch. So nothing gets wasted in this system at all. There we go. Nice and thick. Some places you might have to do a little bit thinner until the plants grow up a bit bigger, but that's all right. You just add a bit more later on. There we go, nice and thick. And the swales, on the top of the swales, I'm going to lay another lot of sticks and logs across there and build up more compost again as well. So here we go, we're really mulching this up nice and thick. There we are. So there you go. You can grow food just about anywhere. If you put the time and effort. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't grow food, no matter what the circumstances are, or the places that you're at. There's always some way to find a way to grow food. So get out there, get going, and get growing. And God bless you guys.